All right, we're back in the studio, and you know it's serious when I'm sitting in the green chair. I wanted to kind of give an overview of the things that I'm learning literally a week and a half into creating a clothing brand. This is super random because you guys know me for music, and music is always and forever will be the primary thing. I have like 36 videos filmed already for music this year that are all in the edit suite, and we're going to be shooting a whole bunch of music videos for the new songs that I've just finished. But this video is specifically to document the very beginning, like the ground level of Lowlyland as an apparel line. When I've been looking at other companies, researching other collections, one thing that I've seen a lot of them say on podcasts and interviews is that they wish that they documented their journey from day one. And I'm like just past 7 days from day one. So I'm going to say this is still like in the realms of day one. I don't have any samples yet. I don't have my supplier sorted. There's nothing on the website. The website isn't live yet. Like, it's the very, very beginning of what I imagine is going to be something profound and special, because most things that I do end up that way. There have been a few businesses in the past that I was 80% passionate about, and I'm going to be honest, there was a drive that was directly correlated to the opportunity of making money. And I've realized throughout my life multiple times that whenever money is the primary factor, I lose interest like that. Like, it's so insane to me how other people can be so driven by the monetary and financial factor of business, where obviously that's necessary and that should be the primary focus when you're trying to create something profitable. But for some reason in my DNA, I'm unable to do something only for money. Like, I lose interest so quickly. And this, I can tell, is going to be something that I'm going to find interest in for years and decades to come. And the reason I know that is because I've done merchandise throughout my entire career. I wouldn't say I've done merchandise overly well. I've had pretty rough shipping times in various periods throughout the last few years. My designs have been okay. Like, I'm not unhappy with them. I'm proud to sell them, and everything that I've put on a shirt I have worn personally, but the emphasis on creating something genuinely unique hasn't been there. The thing that I have put emphasis and energy into throughout a long period of time has always been my music and my music videos and building my YouTube and my social media. Like, that's always been the primary thing. But I've never really found anything else which could align with that I could also input creative energy into, even though this is still very young. And I'm going to be documenting the entire journey, and I'm sure you're going to see times and weeks and maybe even months where I'm like, the fuck have I just started? Like, this is a whole bunch more work than I expected. But I'm making a commitment to myself and in these videos to create something genuinely unique that's going to stand alone beyond my music. So if people find it through me, and they like my songs, and that's how they are introduced to Lowlyland as a clothing brand, great. And that'll be you, because you're watching this video on my YouTube channel. But if you find it through other means, when other advertising efforts take place and marketing efforts take place, and I create campaigns that don't have me in them, if they find it through that, that's going to be almost more exciting, because it's going to feel like a standalone, unique, independent thing that hasn't just ridden the wave from the success of my music. So at the moment, what we're working on is locating a supplier. And I've come across, through a whole bunch of research over the last week, someone who has a factory in Australia, where I live, a factory that they've just opened in the US, and a factory in China. Which is great, because originally when I was creating this, I was thinking that I was only going to advertise to Australia at the very beginning, because shipping costs are so much lower and returns are easier, exchanges are easier. But on the contrary, my audience is barely here. Like, not many people know my stuff here. Most of the people who listen to my music, it's Europe, UK, US, Asia, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, apparently. So I feel like from the very get-go, I'm going to have to figure out something that is more international, so I'm able to cater to those people. Because the last thing I want to do is limit myself and kind of put myself on a shelf where I can only sell to a very select group of people who actually have no idea who I am. I was speaking to a really good friend of mine last night at gym, and he was saying that I think I underestimate the power and the strength and the rarity of the audience that I've built for over a decade now. The people who watch my videos and those who've genuinely been invested in my journey this entire time. I'm at a place right now at the very beginning of this journey where I'm trying to figure out the brand messaging. I have a clear understanding in myself of what I want it to convey. However, the message itself, when I really look at it, is still quite vague. And the demographic that I've chosen isn't niche enough, I wouldn't say, to be a strong pull to the people who actually want to purchase the product, if that makes sense. Having a vague brand is not what you want. You don't want some lukewarm, broad concept that anyone could like, because then no one's going to like it. It has to have a genuine purpose and a very clear vision of what it's actually trying to say. I'm really excited to look back on this video in particular in 5 years' time, when this thing has taken off and become a really well-known brand alongside my music, and my music is doing even better than it is now. There's millions of subscribers, there's millions of listeners, and there's millions of customers purchasing these shirts. Because anything I do that I have a severe passion in, I will not stop until I see success in that avenue. So at the moment, locking down a supplier, and the person that I've spoken with within this supply chain has been incredibly accommodating, understanding that my knowledge is somewhat limited at the moment with all of this. And the terminology that they're using, I'm like, what are you fucking saying? It doesn't make any sense. But I'm learning every day. And I think that's the entire idea, whether it be production, writing songs, learning an instrument, building a business, and becoming an entrepreneur in this sense. There's so many things that you aren't going to know. And as you grow, you're going to learn that there's even more that you don't know. Being at the beginning of a journey is, to me, a very exciting prospect, because the potential really is limitless. The ceiling, you have no idea how high you can take something. So the goal now is to lock down this supplier, get some samples printed, check that I'm happy with the quality. I think with my brief experience in merchandise has given me at least a basis for what I like in shirts and what I like in apparel and clothing. Obviously, I'm just starting with shirts for now. It's the easiest entry point. It's the easiest gateway to get into this. And as I prove concept and things work and people purchase the products and they like them and I get feedback and reviews and testimonials and everything like that, I'm going to be able to add hoodies, jackets, trousers, jeans, shoes. Who even knows where this goes? I have a profound belief in the concept behind this brand, and also my ability to persist until something genuinely does work. What most of you won't know, and I'll be interested if some of you do know, if you followed me this closely, is I actually did start a clothing brand a number of years ago, and it was called Lowly Lyricist. This one is called Lowlyland. Lowly Lyricist, it's a whole thing, I don't need to get into it, but it was this alias that I used to love. It was this poetic superhero name that I never used, but I always liked the idea of this humble, melancholic poet character that was me, but wasn't me. Anyway, strange imagination, I know. The thing is, I actually stopped it because it started working and it was taking way too much time away from my music. So you might ask, why do that again? I feel like I have enough resources now, enough self-control, and I have better systems and structure in my life where I am able to take something like this on whilst creating content, music videos, songs, going on tour. I think it's going to be a lot more sustainable than a few years ago when I was a brand new dad. I began that when my son was born, and I had no idea how to parent. I didn't know how to put nappies on. That was a whole new thing. It felt like there was the birth of two things at once whilst trying to sustain music, and it was just too much. But at this point in time, I feel like I do have enough bandwidth to bring this on and create something meaningful. So you're going to be coming along with me on this journey as I discover all of the basics to creating something that is pretty well out of my lane. And again, I do reference the merch because there have been a number of years where I've run Shopify stores, I've sold merch, I've packaged merch, I've had custom packaging, I've had custom letters and notes within the merchandise. Like, I understand it to a degree, but to the level that I want to understand it, I'm still a novice, like a complete novice. We're going to see how I go. You're going to be taken along for the journey when things are going really well, when things are going really badly, and I have no idea what I'm doing, because right now I am just winging it. I'm coming up with designs that I think are cool. Some are incredibly simple because I think simplicity sells, but then there's also designs that have more complexity in them because that's the stuff that I usually like to wear. You wouldn't be able to tell with how simple this shirt is, but I have no idea what people are going to want, really. So I'm just going with what my intuition is saying, and if that works, great. If it doesn't, that's when I can pivot and I can tweak things and make amendments so that it's more suitable for you and any customer who does come to the store. So you'll actually find in the description of this video, shop Lowlyland. You'll click that link and it's not going to work because the store isn't even up yet. So go ahead and click it and see that there's nothing there. Like, that's how new we are to this game. But I hope you enjoy watching this with me as I put together things and figure out how to design things, how I discover graphic designers, how I learn like what type of fabric is going to work, what people enjoy, what's going to be the best style of print, whether it's DTG or screen printing. I feel like that's a flex because I said DTG. I learned that yesterday. For all you people in clothing, you're going to think I'm an absolute idiot. But like I said, I haven't done this before, and we're just going to see how we go. But anyway, that's enough rambling for this video. I'm going to take you through some of the designs, which might have already been on the screen. I might edit it that way when I chuck this in the computer. We'll see. But you'll see some of these initial designs, these initial mock-ups, from where it is now and what you see now, which is bare bones, barely anything, to what it will be in a few months. Especially with the video team that I have and the media team that I have developed in my music career is going to be such an asset, I think, as I put this together. So let's see how we go. Lowlyland, streetwear for the inner conquest. That's a tagline that might change, but I kind of like it at the moment. Anyway, you're about to watch something get built from absolutely nothing, and I hope it's interesting because it's genuinely interesting to me. Let's see if we can build this thing out to be a massive brand. Who knows?